You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
It's going to be all right. You can do it after, I promise.
We'll forget again.
I won't, because it's going to keep bothering me.
So
if you're just
sorry.
tuning in and you didn't hear the conversation prior to us pushing record, my knee hurts. This just in. Breaking news. Guess what?
What?
I'm not elevated. Nor will I be getting elevated for this episode.
Is it going to be a hard one?
I don't know. Actually. Does it feel like it?
I don't know. You said like after our last one. I actually wanted to talk about that.
About the last one?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'm wondering. I'm sorry. I had to put ice in this, and I know it's going to be a nuisance, but I needed it cold because I'm fudging hot.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you.
Last episode.
I'm still upset about last episode.
Yeah.
And how, but not because I'm upset because of how triggered I was and how hard it was for me to speak and how I'm wondering if, these are going to be loud. I'm going to take them off. I'm wondering if when I'm super triggered, if we should just not record.
Maybe.
So I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because it was bad. I had a hard time, and I was thinking how incredibly emotional. Like, I feel like that's like, be raw, be authentic, right?
Yeah.
But at the same point, it's like, it just felt chaotic and cluster, and I like imploded after.
It's a good episode.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
It was like fire in my soul.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about that. If it's that challenging. Well, you say it's a good episode, so that helps. That's one that I definitely, I'm like, I have to put it out of my brain.
When I was going back and going through it, right, editing it and everything like that, getting it ready, we haven't had an episode like that in a while, and we didn't fight. There wasn't like, it's not like back in the day when we used to fight on the podcast.
There was one time.
But it was tense. Kind of emotionally for a minute.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think we've had some of that in a while. And I think it's beneficial. I think it's good. I think it's, because it's just real. It's just honesty. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get triggered.
Oh, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was a big trigger.
Yeah. And that's okay. Right? It's not a big deal.
It didn't feel okay. So I was really been wondering about that. I'm like, that's a good thing to talk about and see, is that something that, and when it gets to that level and I'm not like,
Maybe it's good practice for you to be able to kind of still connect in those triggered moments and still be able to kind of function. I mean, there's a level, obviously, when you get to a certain point where it's like, yeah, sorry, we're just done. This episode's going in the can. And
yeah, it was close to that. That's
You
what I
think
mean.
so?
I've been triggered while we've been going through this podcast before, but that was I was done. That was like about to can the episode. It was so much.
yeah,
And you look back and you're like, why did it hit me that hard? I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense that I was that triggered, but I was really, really unbearably triggered.
yeah, it got you hard. I
So-
remember going back and listening to it and I'm like, oh shit. Like I had kind of forgotten how triggered you did get. And I was so unaware.
Elevated. And I'm over
Oh.
here like,
No. I was very aware. I wasn't out of it to the point where I wasn't, participating in the conversation by any means, but I was so excited to be talking about the topics and the things that we were talking about on that episode that I was just really passionate, and I wasn't really taking into consideration that the words that I was speaking were going to hit you as hard as they did. So
It makes me feel bad.
which part? The
Like,
part that I wasn't considerate? Or-
no, not that. You were so excited to be talking about it, and I couldn't hold up my end. I couldn't hold that up. I would like a redo. A do-over. Let's do a
Well,
do-over.
lucky for you, we release new episodes every week, so
Maybe
you always get the opportunity.
Let's just scratch that one and let's try and redo that episode.
That one's already out.
Take it off.
This is a little known fact in the podcast realm of this podcast. There's only one episode that has ever been removed.
That's right.
Do you remember?
Did we get like 20 minutes in and then just like canned it?
No, I'm not talking about us recording. I'm talking about an episode of the podcast that was released. And then later on it was
shit
pulled.
hit the fan and they're like, never mind.
Yeah, we had a guest on a long time ago. It was back in the day.
It was a good episode too.
It was a really good episode.
That episode changed a part of me.
Did it?
It was a good episode. I'm really sad that they took it down.
Yeah, the guest...
it made me feel seen and it was so good.
Really?
Yeah.
He... Obviously, I'm not going to mention his name for obvious reasons, but he was an addict and had gotten clean and gotten his life together. And he shared his really honest, truthful, vulnerable story about his life and his addiction and his overdose and suicide attempt and stuff like that. And it was a really good episode.
It was a good episode.
Yeah. And I think what happened was that his life, I think he fell back into his addiction. I think that's what happened. And
Well,
that's why
it's sad that it's down. He should go listen to his own episode.
I know.
And pick himself up.
I know.
It was really good.
It was a good episode.
I hope he's okay.
I wonder
hope
if
he's pulled
anybody
himself
out there
back up.
knows what episode that is. You can go back. It's in the 90s. It's not there anymore.
I was like, how can you go back?
So you
It's
can't
gone.
find it. But it is, I can't remember if it's like 91 or 93 or something like that. There's a skip.
There's a skip.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm just too nice, I guess. I could have said sorry. No way.
That was really nice that you did.
Well,
I know.
we're not jerks, right?
Like, there is that part that's like, hey, but because you didn't have to.
Mm-mm.
You had no reason to. You didn't have to. You had no obligation to.
No, they just asked.
And you still said, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how good of an episode. That's how nice of a person he was that you were like, absolutely.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, and he still is, I'm sure. Oh, shoot. What was I going to say? This podcast. Over the years, we keep talking about it. We keep talking about the podcast that we're doing. But I shared with you, I think it was last night, the realization of like, I think we need to set a goal
Oh, we haven't done a goal in a while. What's our goal?
for the podcast.
Yeah.
First off, we, after 5.5 years of podcasting, we finally have set a schedule.
And given away free concert tickets. Just going to say. We did that.
But we set a schedule. We record our episodes every Friday. So it's on our calendar and we have a routine now.
Yes.
And it leads to some consistency in our life, which is really nice. And I like it that way.
If it's not on the calendar,
Well, what we used
you and
to do
I are
is just
calendar people.
let the podcast fall into the cracks of our life where it
Good.
needed to, right? Where it kind of
Yeah.
fit and we weren't
Do you have time?
busy.
Do you
and-
have
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Yeah, I got
And
time. You got time?
Then we'd be
You got
fucked by
something
the
to
end of
talk
the
about?
week and have to hurry up and
We gotta
record.
record.
And then I'd be busy editing over the course of the weekend. And
What were you doing this?
but this way now it's just routine. It's a schedule. It's what we do, and I like it. I think
Me
it's
too.
working. But it's
But-
funny that it took us this long to get to that point, right?
It is.
We should have been doing that from the beginning.
We should have. I don't think I was ready for that kind of commitment.
For that kind of podcast commitment. But I think we should set a goal for this time next year.
This time next year.
Yeah, like we should pick whatever.
September. Well, should I say the date
24th?
or the date that the podcast comes out?
No, we'll pick today's date that
Okay.
we're recording. Should we pick the 23rd just because it's the 23rd, right?
It's the 24th. Even though 23rd
I know, but
is
we
the
like
number
the
I
23, right?
We do like the 23.
So let's go
Let's
923.
923.
Yeah, by this
That
time.
will also be an end of a cycle.
Okay.
So perfect.
So by this time next year,
Yes.
our podcast will have doubled in size.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that there's going to be 4 guests or 4 hosts to the podcast. No, it's doubled in size as far as the people that listen, as far as
Okay.
our listener base and our
Doubled,
reach.
huh?
Yeah, doubled.
We're going to do 1 year what it's taken 5 years to build.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like no more fucking around.
No more fucking around.
That's
Double.
really what I've been coming to. I've got so much that I want to try to
Double.
express.
Boil in trouble. Golden boil and bubble. Time to get some conjuring going on. Okay.
I've been going through a major transition in the last few months. And I feel like I say that all the time. And I probably do.
Because you are.
Yeah. But I feel like I have been in a state of almost like soul meditation. That sounds too hippie.
God forbid.
What?
God forbid.
Right. But I feel like I have been doing a lot of not just internal work, but I'm talking about like just sitting and letting the world kind of pass me by. Not in this like, God, what am I trying to say, babe? Maybe I do need to get elevated in order to try to express this thought. The podcast is a small example of what I feel like I have been doing with my life. And it's just kind of like half-assing aspects of it.
Oh, okay.
And
I feel like
keeping things small and convincing myself that it's not that big of a deal and that I'm not that big of a deal and that it's okay. And it's like all of these things that are just really small. And I'm coming to a point in my life in this realization, in this time period that I've just been kind of sitting. And I say soul meditation, that sounds so beautiful and deep and like, ooh, that's interesting. No, it's not. Like, it's not like I'm sitting under fucking trees and really meditating. But I've been doing a lot of contemplating. Soul contemplation, maybe we'll call it. I don't fucking know.
Have you been reflecting?
Thanks for using a really generic, easy word. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. Teasing.
Sorry.
You look so beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I love when you wear things that show your skin. Not in like a pervy way, just in a, like you're beautiful and I like seeing your body.
Thank you.
That was a side note, tangent. Anyways, I've been doing a lot of reflecting and we've been doing this podcast for 5.5 years and it's about time that it explodes. And so let's explode it. Let's explode it. Let's take the next year and just really blow it up. Not in a destructive way.
Yeah, you want me to blow it up? I can do that.
No, it's time for it to be all that it can be, and time for it to expand and grow.
How do I get on board with that?
How do you get on board with that?
You're ready. You're there. And I'm like,
Well, that's the thing is I'm not ready.
Yeah, you are.
No, what I'm saying is that's the mindset that I've always had is it's like I'm not ready. And I'll know when I'm ready. And if I do a little bit more work, I'll be ready. And I'll have all of these things and da-da-da. I'm done with that mindset.
Because you're ready.
And it's like, I'm not ready in any way, shape, or form, but I'm done fucking waiting. Like I'm done waiting for this life that I want to have. I'm ready for it to come into fruition in the most magnificent, beautiful way. And the podcast is just a small corner niche of that life experience that I'm talking about. I'm ready for this big, beautiful, amazing world and existence and life that I'm wanting to live. We have like 50 plus years left on this planet. And I want to expand everything in my existence so that I get this full, beautiful fucking run of this life. The way that you're reacting right now, because I can see and feel you, obviously. No, don't pawn off your arm itch. Don't fucking tip the cards. I know that it scares you. Like I know that you get scared and nervous. And I think the thoughts that go through your head are like, shit, what does this mean? Here we go.
Again.
Here
we go again.
What does that mean? Here we go again. Are you going to tell me that I say this all the time?
No, that's not what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
Just what you were pointing out. Like, I can tell you're reacting. Here we go. It's like, here we go. Like, I think I have a hard time with that because you have been somebody who has, it's like I have a couple moments of completely shifting everything and changing everything and transforming everything. And those are good moments. I also get to breaking points. I break and then I'm like, fuck this, and we'll do it. You have you oh God, how can I say this in
I won't take offense.
you do that more frequently than I do.
I break things more frequently?
No, that's not what I was trying to say. You shift things, like completely change everything up. Like here we are, here's this thing, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, all of that's gone, and it's this now. It's this now. So there is part of me that hears that and gets scared because I feel like I've tried to stabilize our life so much, and like here's this new thing and get on board with this and like try and stabilize. And then here's this new thing. Okay, get on board, try and stabilize. I feel like things just keep getting flipped and I have to like try and stabilize it. So maybe you were picking up on that. I don't know. That's not really, that's what came up with the here we go. And so I said, here we go again. That's not what I was thinking when you said, I see you reacting. But when you said, here we go, that's what sparked in me at that moment was here we go again. And
so
then,
first off.
Okay. Could you follow me?
Yeah, I could follow you. I'm not high. Are you on board with growing this podcast in the next year?
Yes. And I'm going to need to do some work on that because I feel like, I guess, why not be honest, right? I feel insignificant and unworthy, and I feel like I'm a triggered idiot. And I'm like, I can't grow it because I'm stupid. Like so I feel like that's something I'm incapable of doing. And then if it does start like really going, then oh my God, everybody's going to see how worthless I am, how stupid. Like I've gotten comfortable in like being seen to this level, to be seen more. Like I'm still hiding. Like even though it's now being recorded and the listener base has grown and we're on new platforms, it's still like the thought of doubling it and being, I don't know. Like, yes, I want to, of course. Like it's on my vision board. Like I want this. When I do deep manifesting, I bring this into it. But I am scared. I'm afraid that I have nothing of value to give. And so I'm like, you can grow it. I will stop doing it. You know, it's that thing. So I've just been trying to get my mental health on track. Like it hasn't come into my worth yet. I'm just trying to dory my way through life right now.
Yeah.
But I'll get there. Give me a minute to sit with it and really like put it in my I don't know. Whatever this is. Put it in my core. Let me give it a minute in my core and then I'll be ready. Yeah. I'm just scared right now, but will I be ready? Absolutely.
Well, we got a year. So we got time.
I can't wait for a year to be ready. It's like it's a year. Okay,
I know what I'm saying.
I'm ready. We got a week to double this. Our deadline's in a week.
You got time to put it into your...
Why wait?
Why wait? Yeah.
Oh, God, I got scared.
That's not sensation, but that feeling that you don't have value and worth. Yeah. And that you don't really bring anything to the table. I feel the same way. It's one of those...
You feel the same way?
It's something that's been coming up for me lately is I think about my internal dialogue. So, you know that tape that we play in our head, right? The internal dialogue that everybody has and how negative it is. I mean, the majority of people's internal dialogue is, I dare say everybody's dialogue is negative, right? That's not ours.
It's not.
Right? That's not mine. Somebody gave that to me. Mm-hmm. And that is a formulation of a bunch of input from outside sources. And I've always, like, I don't know how to explain this. I feel silly saying it this way. I feel foolish. This is the part of me that thinks I don't have worth and value, right? I feel foolish to say these things. But I think I've said this on the podcast before, maybe not, I don't know. But I feel deep inside of me that I am like magical and special. And I think that internal dialogue that we get and that is given to us over the course of our childhood, I mean, for me personally, it just is in constant battle with that part of me that feels special. And when I think about this podcast and I think about how we can double it in size and we can reach more people and we can have all of this growth come from this podcast, like, truthfully, there's not a reason why this podcast shouldn't be feeding us right now.
Right.
There's not a reason why this podcast shouldn't be paying our bills and stocking our fridge. And do you know what I mean? There isn't a reason for that.
There's not.
The only thing that is, I think, stopping that is our own internal dialogue. Yeah. I think it's us that have kept it this small. I'm rambling because this is such big stuff for me.
I don't think you're rambling.
That fear that I have about, do I really have value and can I really bring something to the table? I hear all of that negative self-talk anytime I try to think about that. And anytime I try to I'm like, no, I really do. I really do.
You do.
Right. I really have value in my thoughts and my beliefs and the way that I see the world and my words. And, but it's really difficult to stand up against that internal dialogue, and better yet, even more difficult to walk past that internal dialogue. I keep visioning it like these bullies, and sometimes they have the shape of people in my life and over the course of my life, but sometimes it's just like a crowd of noise, right? And I'm standing there in front of this crowd of noise and I'm like, no, I'm really worth something. Like, I have value. Like, I'm actually special. And I think everybody is special. I don't think I'm unique in the fact that I'm special, but I do think that I'm unique because I think we all are unique. And I think the fact that I've always felt that I've had that really special magical thing inside of me, it has always seemed like that crowd of voices and that internal dialogue that is like, no, you're not really that big of a deal. Or you should probably shut up already. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. What you have to say is really stupid. How many times are you going to say that same dumb shit? Just shut up. Let somebody else talk. You're just fucking be quiet. I've been quiet a lot, and I've let those voices kind of rule my choices and my actions.
I'm going to beat them up.
But I have always felt inside that it was fuck you, bullshit. I am actually really fucking special. Quit trying to convince me of something that isn't true. You're telling me a lie right now. You're telling me something that I know isn't true. I know I'm magic.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, magic isn't real. That's not a thing. You need to stop fucking believing that. And I'm like, you're just a fucking idiot. I've always thought that. And this whole idea as what I'm talking about, this thing in the last few weeks, months, whatever, in the last little bit, I have been butting up against that a lot and realizing that, I don't have anybody in my life that tells me those things. I don't have anybody in my life keeping me small. You're nothing but supportive in regards to everything that I want to do. Almost everything.
What do you want to do that I'm not supportive of?
No, I'm just teasing.
No, seriously.
I was just thinking of silly stuff like fixing the siding on the house and climbing on the roof and stuff like that.
A roof is crazy dangerous. I did want to hire somebody, but you did it.
It's not important.
I'm grateful.
It's just silly.
I think you work really hard and sometimes somebody else can do the work.
But I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't want to listen to that crowd of voices that's inside of my head anymore. I just want to like walk through that crowd and keep on going. And they'll like turn around and keep like yelling at me, but they can't follow me where I'm going. Like I don't give them permission to. I'm going past them and I'm going out into this big, huge, open, beautiful fucking world that exists past all of that negative self-talk. And eventually, the more that I get away from that, I won't be able to hear it anymore. They'll disappear.
Yeah.
Because I'll be too far into this new world that exists where they no longer can reach me. And that's the magical place that I get to go out into and create this life that I want to live. You know?
Yeah.
And everybody has that in them. Everybody has that capacity to do that. Everybody, I think, is magical and special and unique. But it's like, I'm tired of not owning that for myself. I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't want you to do that.
It doesn't
either.
feel good.
It doesn't.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can feel when I give up. I can feel when I let those negative voices win. And it's like, why? Why? At this point in my life, why am I letting them dictate what I do? They're not real. You know, they were all just given to me at some point in my life. And I don't have anybody. I mean, it's just literally like I don't have anybody stopping me from achieving. And it's not even like about achievement. It's not like I have some I don't know what I'm searching for. Like, I don't know at what point I'll feel like I'm not, you know, that they didn't win and I'm past that point. I don't know what I'm really looking for, other than I know that how I've done things up to this point, I know very well how that feels. I know what that feels like. And I don't like the way that feels. And I really am done with feeling that way any longer. If I have an idea, I want to do it. If I have something that I want to move towards, I want to move towards it. I want to expand the capacity for which I have to like enjoy this life and live this life. You know? I feel stupid now. You should talk.
Why do you feel stupid? Sit with that for a minute. You want to move past the voices? Here's an opportunity. Those voices are telling you you're stupid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's because you're not giving me the response that I want.
Oh, because I'm listening.
Yeah, but I'm afraid because you're not saying anything. So
because
then the voices,
I'm listening.
Then the voices are like, see, she thinks you're a fucking idiot.
Jakartas! I want to burn them down. No, she doesn't think you're an idiot. I am proud of you.
Mm.
Yes, I encourage this.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I've thought about.
That's awesome.
Is we need to double this podcast. So if you're listening, we're going to hold you accountable. Going to come knock on your door next week.
Tell a friend.
And be like, have you told anybody about the podcast? No, we have great listeners.
We do.
Barb's amazing.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, it's simple. We just double the size of this podcast.
Yeah.
And we can probably do it in 6 months.
I think, you know what? Let's keep SMART goals.
I saw a quote recently.
Measurable, attainable. What's the SMART acronym? I'll get it. Say the quote while I look up the acronym.
This was a meme, so it's probably 100% accurate.
Well, usually.
Most memes are, right? And it was something about Elon Musk. And he says, like, if you give yourself a year to achieve something, it'll take a year. If you give yourself a month, it'll take a month. Like, who better to take some fucking guidance and influence from, right? Elon's like, hey, we're going to go to Mars. And everybody's like, what, are you fucking crazy? you're not going to Mars? And he's like, yeah, we are. And we'll probably be there. No, not probably. Let's say 2025. We're going to be there by 2025. And so I think that's what we should do. We should take that same approach to what we want in life. If we give ourselves a year, it'll take a year. If we say 6 months, we'll get it done in 6 months. Do you realize how powerful you and I are?
I do.
I feel like you and I are superheroes. I feel like you and I are Superman and woman that crash landed on this planet and haven't realized yet that we're Superman and woman.
Yeah, wow.
And then it's like when we actually combine together energetically, then we're superhuman. And we are so incredibly powerful together.
I think so. That's a proven.
Yeah.
That's a proven.
So why are we fucking around with silly stuff and thinking that we don't have the ability to like just have it all?
Well, let's say it this way then. At a minimum, we will have doubled it in a year.
Okay.
So that's not putting a box on it. We're not saying double. There's our cap. There's our lid. We're saying at a minimum, it can go well beyond that. I found the acronym.
For SMART?
Yes. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely manner. So it helps you like achieve.
That sounds like a human acronym. We're superhuman.
Oh, excuse me.
We come from the
Okay.
land of ice and snow.
Well, that's why, okay. As I said, a minimum of double.
Okay.
Like, let's do that.
September 23rd, 2022.
Here's my thing, okay? This is where I get hung up and I could use some help. I've never had that voice that you're special.
Really?
I want it. Like, but you say that like it's such a thing. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I've never had that. Like, I've never had that. You know, yes, I've experienced a lot of shit starting from a very young age, which taught me different. But when I decide I can't do something, I just don't do it. I just don't. But when I decide I can do something, I do it. I achieve it. Pretty much everything that I set my mind to, I accomplish. But when I accomplish it, then I get scared. And I'm like, no, I'm here and I have to do it. And I'm like, whoom. So I can accomplish fucking anything, but I can't maintain after that because as soon as I hit it, I'm scared and I back off and I'm like, whoo. So how, like, I can do this. I can bring this goal. I can be a partner in this. But then it's like, we'll just keep it simple with the 100-mile challenge last August. Not this August, but like 2020. Like that seemed fucking impossible. But I did it. And I hit over. And then what did I do?
Stop.
I did not go for another fucking walk for like 7 months. I was like, that's it. We're done. Like, that's how I do it. When I accomplish something, I don't know what happens. I feel like I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. So I can do these things. But how do I keep going? How do I keep going? I don't keep going. I get scared. I feel like, oh, I've made it. I don't really deserve to be here. They're going to look at me and expect something of me because I've shown that I can do this and I really can't.
Like imposter syndrome a little bit?
Probably, yes, like that. But I stop. I don't keep going. I said there's very few things that I keep going. So I have a tool belt. I have a lot of tools. And I use like 3.
Yeah.
So that's where I get. So you have the voices that...
The voices in my head.
The voices in your head.
That tell me I'm special.
That like, no, that are fucking mean to you. That are lies.
Oh,
You have a crowd of liars that
Yeah.
need to fuck off. And so we can be louder than those voices. We just don't need to listen. We can be louder than. It's not about ignoring them or we just be louder than them. I'm not going to be here. The voices are insignificant. So we're going to be louder than your voices. I've already lost my train of thought. My brain's like, nope.
Well, you said you needed help.
So how? Okay, yeah. How do I?
Are
I
you
can no longer
elevated?
talk. No, I'm just panicking now because I just also let out some really vulnerable things about myself, and now my stomach is like twisting.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I just said the truth about where I fell, and just like that hard coming in. This isn't where this was supposed to go. I'm like, stop fucking looking at me.
Did you have a plan for where this was supposed to go?
It was a momentum and an empowering and a charge, not something that was going to.
What was it supposed to be momentum for? I don't
remember now. Like the goals. Okay. We're just like, at least it's going to be at least a double. At least a double in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go move on from there.
Can we not talk about your...
my neck is like seizing up. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, this is like something is like got their claws in the back of my neck and like pulling it back.
What do you think that is?
I don't know.
What would you say to somebody that has that imposter syndrome, who has a track record of accomplishing big goals, who very well has documented proof of like, when I put my mind to something, I achieve it. And then as soon as I achieve it, I back away from it and hide.
What would you say to somebody that has always believed, that actually was a child that knew they were magic and never lost that? To this day, they are a 40-year-old man who knows they are magic, but still has these voices that tell them otherwise. What would you say to them?
We already talked about me.
We're still talking about you.
What would I say to that person?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, of course you're magical.
Of course you're magical.
Right? You've known it forever. It's real. Like, it's real.
You've never let it go.
I haven't.
That in itself is fucking magical.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard for me to believe that. Like, it's so hard for me to believe that, like, you say never letting that go. And I'm like, it's either amazing that I've like kept that little spark inside of me and I've never let it go, or I'm full of shit and it's not real. And the game that I play in my head is that it's immature, and that the reason I haven't let that little spark go is because I'm a child.
Is that true?
That's the game in my head.
But is that true?
Well,
right
hold
now?
on. I want to play this out because I think about the people that I see and judge from the outside, right? The people that I don't really know what they think or how they feel, or people that I'm closest, or not closest to, but close-ish with. People in my life, people in my family, people, friends and family and things like that. And I think about like, it's almost like I can see that they let the spark die. Right?
Mm-hmm. Do you think they're grown up for that?
Like, this is the story.
I'm just asking.
That like, this is the internal narrative, the dialogue that takes place. It's almost like that incredibly not so good movie with Robin Williams, right? It's like Hook, where he was Peter Pan.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And
I liked that movie.
I did too. And he had to remember that he could fly. Like, he had to remember that little spark inside of him.
That made me cry.
But he had a world telling him something different, right? He had to grow up. He had to be an adult. He had to get a job. He had to do all of these things. And so that internal dialogue in my head is that it, first off, it's just fantasy, that I think that I'm some sort of special magical person. And I'm fooling myself continually over the course of my entire life, because there's always been this little thing inside of me that has thought I'm special and I'm magical. And so I'm either fooling myself, and then like the follow-up is you just need to grow the fuck up. And as soon as you let go of that idea and you really just accept reality and accept like being an adult and growing up, then you'll find peace. And you'll kind of like move on in this life of lives and become, I mean, it's so fucking sad to think about it that way, but that's kind of the way that I think about it. And I don't want to let go of that spark.
Then don't.
Well, I'm not.
It's sad when you don't have that spark. It's sad when you've had that spark and you lose it.
Yeah.
It's not growing up.
It makes me sad for the people that I feel like have let go of it.
Exactly.
And I feel like I can see it. I can see the people that have let go of it.
You can still see their spark.
And I can see their spark, but I can see that they can't see it. Like I can see that they let go of it and that they don't have that thing inside anymore.
There's a
and
lot
that
of
they
that
forgot.
you can't even see their spark.
Right?
Like they let it go and it's gone.
Yeah. And that's like so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And
why would you want to do that?
I don't. I'm not going to.
Okay. Good. I'm like, quit fucking it. Then why are we going down this road?
I'm just talking about the internal dialogue that takes place inside
We're
my head.
going to be louder than the internal dialogue, not give it the fucking microphone.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
I want to hear you out, but it sounds like you're trying to convince. You're like giving that voice.
I'm trying to give myself permission to do this thing that is really, really, in some way, shape, or form, like scary.
Why is it scary?
Because I feel stupid.
Why?
Because of those voices, because of that narrative, that thing that's like, grow the fuck up already. I look at our life.
Okay.
Right? And I look at the way that we kind of live our life.
It's pretty fucking magical.
It is really fucking magical.
And we keep playing it small. And it's magical.
And somehow it's working.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, this isn't how things are supposed to work.
Nope.
Right? And yet somehow they keep working this way. And I can hear the voices, like I can hear the people telling me that this is dumb and judging me for like living this way. And then I'm like, you motherfuckers aren't happy. Like that fucking peanut gallery, that crowd of voices, they're not fucking happy. They're fucking miserable.
Yeah. They got some boxes checked and they're miserable.
And it's like, why the fuck am I listening to sad, miserable fucking people?
Why?
You know, I have this thing inside of me that has always been there. And I can't like, it is so real in me, Steph, that it's not even like, I don't know why I have never doubted it.
Because it's big.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's never been, like when things are really, really, really quiet, even though I have all this external voice and dialogue and blah, 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 all this shit that I'm talking about, that's really loud at times and that has stopped me from being everything that I could possibly be or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Inside, that little thing has never gone away and it's never like questioned itself. It's never been like, boy, they might be right. No, it's never. I've always known that I'm magical and that I'm special. And then it's like I've been trying to convince everybody else. Like, hurry up and see this already. So that I'm, that's probably a lot of it, has been trying to convince everybody else.
Maybe that's where you need to stop.
Yeah. I can see that in some ways where,
it's like you're waiting for them to see it so then you can be like, you can believe it.
Yeah. So then those voices change, right? Then they'll start telling me, you're right. You are really fucking special and you're really fucking magical. Now go do something with that. Go be fucking magic. And it's like, I don't have to convince anybody.
You don't have to convince anybody.
I don't have to tell anybody any of this stuff. And there's not somebody stopping me. And if I believe it, like I'm the only one that I would have to convince, and I'm already convinced. Like I'm already fucking convinced in the way with which I like see the world and see things. And I can feel like magical is just the silly word. It's not a silly word. It's a really, really big word for me that basically encompasses like special and unique. And I mean,
you don't have to define it.
I know, but I want to give it some context because I keep saying it over and over and over again, but it's like, I feel like I see things differently than other people see them.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have the capacity to see what others can't.
I agree with you.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And I think we all have the capacity to see those things. I think just a lot of people have chosen to let that spark go. There's a component of it that is very childlike. And like, I'm feeling more and more like I just want to be like a kid. And then I'm struggling in that too, where it's like, you got to be an adult. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I just kind of just want to be a fucking kid. It's like, well, you can be a kid for a minute, but.
What does being a kid mean to you in your context of what you want to be? Like, what does that mean to you?
More play.
Okay.
Free. I feel like when I would play as a kid, I was super fucking free. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember playing in my imagination and not just like sitting there, but like just play itself, whether it was with like little G.I. Joe action figures or running around in the backyard or just any time I was playing, it felt like a different place because there was so much of my imagination at play along with me, right? And I've thought about that. And I say it's my imagination, but I don't think it is. I think that's how I see things differently than other people, right? And it's how, like, that's one of the unique things that I have is the ability to see things differently. So when I'm playing with my imagination or I am imagining things in the midst of play, that's not really my imagination. That's real.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I have the ability to see those things that other people can't see.
Okay.
And that's a really special thing about me.
Okay.
And it comes out when I play. But the reality is it's always there. I can always kind of tap into it and see things in a different way and see things from a different perspective. It's helped me immensely when it comes to like real life situations and being able to look at them differently and see things differently and also connect to people and be able to see things from their perspective. And you asked me, what does play mean? Or like, what does it mean to be like a child?
From what you're saying, you're like, be like a kid. Like,
yeah.
Tell me.
Like more free, like
Okay.
just not more free, just free.
Okay. From what? Just like in play, like and allowing that without being held back?
No,
or?
it's like the freedom. It's almost like, because I don't have the real recollection of this as a child, but I have the sensation and the feeling of it. Is it's like my mind was unburdened with life when I was a kid and when I was at play. It's like I wasn't thinking about shit.
Were you being present?
Very present, right? Wasn't thinking about any kid stuff, whatever kids would think about.
So you were being present.
And just really
playing, you were being present.
Yeah, and free in those moments where your mind is just playing and free. That's what I want. Like I want to live a life that way.
So you want to enjoy yourself and be present is what you're describing.
Yeah.
To a point.
So that my mind's clear.
Yeah.
Like today we had a little, we didn't have an adventure. Today we went to this little Mountain Man Gem Fair rendezvous thing and went shopping at Walmart. And I've been very distracted today.
Yeah.
You've noticed that.
Yeah.
I've been very much in my head because I've been doing a lot of contemplating about this stuff.
I've been trying to get you in your body.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't stop it.
I know. And I'm like, get in your body. Hang out with me.
I'm like, no, because I'm busy contemplating.
Yeah.
And I'm recognizing that what I want is to be free of that contemplation because it's like I'm contemplating what I already know. I already know I'm fucking special. I already know that I'm fucking magical. I already know that I have the ability to create and manifest my life in the most beautiful way that I want it. Like there's literally nothing stopping me. I feel like I have the wizardy, magical fucking skills to just poof things into existence and create this life that I want.
So you're done doubting yourself.
I like to think so. And it's like,
I want to be done with doubting
yeah,
yourself.
I want to be done with that.
Yeah.
I want to be done with all of that because it's not mine. My doubt and my questioning of shit, it's not mine.
Yeah.
I don't fucking doubt myself. I don't fucking question myself. Do you know how much confidence I've always had in my ability to do things?
Yes.
Like to the point where it's kind of maybe probably some sort of mental illness or something. Like there's probably some aspect of it that is.
If you're confident you have a mental illness?
Well, like I think I can do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like there's always been that thing where I can see that, oh yeah, I can do that.
And then you do it.
Right?
Why is having a knowing inside and then
See?
following through
That
a
voice.
mental illness?
Once again, that voice.
Yeah, you just immediately made it small.
Made it small. Yeah. Why?
Like,
I
I'm
don't need
probably
to.
crazy.
That's society. That's the voice. That's the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
That's that crowd that I have to get through. Like I've always known. And it's like, who else do I have to convince?
I don't know. You tell me.
Do you
Think you're magic?
know? Do you trust in our future together? Like, do you trust that if you come along for this ride that is life together, do you trust it?
If I come along, yes, I trust it.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know that I want to answer that right now. I believe I don't have that spark in me. And maybe you see it. Like, maybe you see it. Maybe you look at me and you think I didn't let it go. I hope you do. I hope you see it in me. It would fucking break my heart if you didn't. I mean, you wouldn't be failing. I would just know then that I was done. You know, I'm gonna start crying.
Well, you've been crying a lot lately.
I don't want to cry right now.
Didn't you cry at the grocery store?
I did cry at the grocery store.
Cried at Walmart today.
Jesus.
It's okay to cry. I've been crying a lot lately.
I don't know if I can get my thought back.
I've never not seen your spark.
Thank you. I doubt myself, my ability. I doubt, that's, like I said, my worth, my, all of that shit. Things, happen in life, and it was really hard for me to not use all of those things as validation of why I wasn't worthy. I wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Throughout all. So compile. I am working on that, but I don't have that spark. I don't know that I'm enough. So if I can get past that, and if I come along, because I see it, I've already seen it. So I know us. Like, I've already seen it.
It's pretty fucking amazing, huh?
And then I'm not enough. I can't make all that happen. That would be a possibility if I could just achieve these things, if I could just be enough, if I could just be worthy, if I could just earn enough. So, yes, I do believe in us. If I can come along. But I don't know if I can. Does that make sense?
It does.
Not that I don't want to. Like, I'm here. I'm going to try. But I don't know that. And I feel like, I absolutely feel like I'm going to get left behind. And so it's like, well, am I going to spend the rest of my life killing myself trying to not get left behind? Or am I just going to find another path? You know? So we're just different in that way. And that scares me, because that makes me feel like I don't deserve to be around you then. I don't deserve to be around people with sparks because I don't have that. I can help other people see their sparks, but I don't know how to light my own. So I don't know.
What do you think is some of your magic?
I feel like we're not listening. Sorry. I don't know what sound that was. I'm gonna die. Jesus. You fucking Jedi choke me?
You
don't.
Jedi choked yourself.
I can help other people.
That's magic.
But I can't move myself.
Yeah.
Luckily, I can bring people to me. Literally. Bring them here.
Yeah.
Because I can't, at least at this point, go out. Like, I can't. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of mad right now. I'm like, why did you ask me a question that was like setting me up for failure? You knew I wasn't going to give the right answer. And now you can see it, that I'm not good enough to come along. And now everybody knows. So that goes back into, like, that's my pattern.
That's your crowd, right?
That's my crowd. That's my pattern.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, that goes back to the being afraid of.
That's like your audience
Yeah.
of voices.
So when you have to step out and be in the.
Phone just went off, by the way. That's your audience of voices there.
Yeah, I got a big fucking crowd.
Yeah, you do. Because you're a big fucking deal.
They're not helping me. I mean, they are. But I can't hear the ones that are helping. Why am I, like, what am I
Cleaning
doing to the table?
table?
Like, wax on, wax offing it hair over hair. Okay. It's really hot in here.
I believe wholeheartedly that we're going to go together.
Yeah. Well, I believe in you, so I can believe that.
Yeah.
I let go of a lot of things when you, like, I mean, there's definitely things where, like, I let go of and not deal with, and you've got, like, the lead or whatever. But there are things when it, like, things that, like, matter, not that insignificant things. But when something big is happening, or something scary is happening, or something, and you know what you're doing, and you have that lead, and you take, there's so many times that I just, like, let go. And it's not, like, I can hear the flip side already, and I'm like, let me finish this thought before you bring the flip side in. It's like Jesus, take the wheel. Like, I know it's gonna be okay, and I know you've got it. Even if it's not going bad, if it's going good, like, there's these shifts. So, like, I see your magic, and I'm not afraid of it, and I'm not afraid to let go with it. And there's times that I definitely want to take the lead, even if it's like, I want it to be my show too, you know, sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
it is your show.
But my point is, when it, like, I've never done that. Like, when things have come up, when things have gone wrong, when things have needed to be taken care of, when things have been going well, like, I have always, like, held it and went and had to, like, I guess this is turning into a control conversation.
I don't think it's a control conversation.
But with you, I thought I was doing, fuck.
No.
That's way better.
My brain. Hey.
I'm going to lick the mic.
Go ahead. That's literally a change that I made on this episode.
Yeah, it's better.
So
you keep changing the mics. That one's better. I can hear it.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
How do I?
Just raise it up a little bit.
Take a picture. So I can but where I know that I don't have to hold on. I don't have to do all of the things that I would do. Whether it was right or wrong, I would get us through. But I don't have to do that. There's so many things that I just trust and let go because I know what, like, you're capable of. And it's more than just responsibilities. It's about the fun. It's about the excitement. It's about, there's so many different things where, like, even with my own body, like, I don't hold my own body. I can let go and then magic. So
you trust?
I trust because I know.
Because you've seen my magic.
Yes.
And experienced it.
I see it. I experience it.
Yeah.
Past, present, and future. No linear. Cyclical.
Yeah. I believe because of our journey and because of our life and because of who you and I specifically are, I believe the reason I can see my magic this time, meaning in this experience, is because of you.
Just two magical fucking beings.
So you talked earlier about how you have the ability to help other people see their magic. I believe that's what you did for me a long time ago. Or long time, like linear time, blah, 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 right? It's not a thing. I believe that's what, I believe you did the same thing for me. And that's why I can see it this time so clearly. And that's why I've never doubted it, because you told me.
I'm going to kiss you. Just wait till this podcast is over. Are you ready for me to help you get in your body? I'm ready to help you get in your body. I'm gonna give you an out of body and body experience.
This morning, we had sex twice before 7 a.m. Fucking top of that, people out there. Good luck. Even before we got out of bed.
Right. And I've been trying to get him back in bed all day.
We had sex twice. Even before we got out of bed. Even before the day had started. It was still, no, it wasn't quite yesterday. It was early. We were up early.
Yeah, the one was like at 3:30.
Yeah, it was early.
It was the first one.
3:30 something.
3:34.
Yeah. I had a bunch of other stuff on my list of wanting to talk about on this podcast, but it looks like we went somewhere else. So we're going to close out.
I have one more thing to add, and it actually fits in, but I want to talk about like your perspective on it.
Let's hear it.
I think that also you keeping your spark is going to help Asher. Like, I know there's all our kids, but this is a conversation that him and I had, and I'm afraid he's losing his spark.
Yeah.
He said something to me yesterday that was like, ouch, that was like heartbreaking. And I'm trying to hear it from his point of view, because he feels like betrayed. Or we were watching Grown Ups, and it's where Selma Hayek is too busy with her job, whatever, not hearing her kid. And like, no kids should be listening to this episode, to this podcast, by the way. But if they're listening, definitely hit this pause button right now. Like, this is going to be something you cannot unhear. It was about the tooth fairy, and the little girl was so excited showing her mom that she lost her tooth, and she's like, put it under the bed, or put it on the pillow, and I'll, again, hit stop. Okay. Put it under the pillow and I'll put $1 under there later. And she's like, what? She's like, just put it on your pillow and I'll put $1 later. And then she's, oh my gosh. Like, then she realizes, and the daughter, and she's like, I ruined her childhood. And Asher's like, well, she's got to learn sometime. I'm like, dude. He goes, I'm never telling my kids there's a tooth fairy or Santa Claus. I'm like, why? He's like, my kid's my decision. He's 15, by the way. Like, why would you not? He goes, I'm not going to lie to them. I was like, it's not about lying to them, buddy. It's about the magic that creates. And he's like, he was done. But that just was like, you feel betrayed. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
He feels like betrayed over that. Like, he can't trust, like he lost trust with us.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking how fucking beautiful it was that he believed for so long. Like, he believed longer than, and so I don't know if that just like had a turn of it, like he found out in a really shitty way, because all of a sudden it was gone, and now he's like, his kids won't even get that. And I want to like let's go and like on that ember and like get that spark. So you keeping that spark and showing that spark, and that, yeah, you have these knowledge and you still have all this magic and going. So he can see that and let that matter. He's still a kid.
Yeah.
And he's not living like a kid.
Yeah. He will. I believe it.
How can we go about?
It's the same thing that we always do. We just lead by example. Right? It's all we can do with these kids now. Just got to lead by example. He's watching, he's learning, he's picking up, he's observing, he's absorbing. We just got to lead by example. Both of us.
Yeah. I believe in Santa Claus. Like,
I believed in Santa Claus so hard.
yeah.
So hard I believed in Santa Claus. Even when I started to like learn that what Santa Claus was, I was still like, that's just like Santa Claus is, you know, anti-PR department trying to steer us away from believing this. I believed so hard
That's amazing.
in Santa Claus.
How old were you, do you think, when you stopped?
Probably middle school.
Are you fucking serious? So
11,
you were like
12,
Asher.
13, something like that.
You believed like he did that long.
Long.
Were you
hard.
pissed when you found out?
I wonder, when you said that, I wondered if, like, maybe we are doing a terrible thing as society and as parents and having our kids believe in these fantasy things and lying. I wonder if I was, I think I was devastated. Like, I remember just being really fucking bummed.
Yeah.
But I don't think I had, like, animosity towards my mom or anybody. I don't think I was, like, mad that she had lied to me. I think I had gratitude that she had done such a good job for such a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she never gave up the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when we were, like, teenagers, she's still like, yeah, well, yeah, don't write your letter to Santa. That's fine. See what happens.
Yeah, so we said with Asher. Like, fine, don't believe, then you won't get anything.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one that's like, Santa isn't real.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do it. I was devastated when I found out.
Mm-hmm.
At first grade.
Fuck.
Right? And then I, like, had to play. And so.
Pretend the whole time.
Pretend for a long time until I was done.
And I was probably like 9 or 10 or I was like, I remember there was a time period.
Do you know how you found out?
I don't remember if there was like an event, but I remember like wanting to know for real.
Yeah.
And there was a saber-toothed tiger stuffed animal. That was my saber-toothed tiger stuffed animal. Was like, if Santa Claus is real, he will get me this stuffed animal.
Yeah.
And that was like proof to me at that age. And I was, I don't know, 8, 9, something like that.
That's
maybe
not
10.
middle school.
I know, but I got that stuffed animal.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm like, done.
It's fucking real, obviously.
Yeah, all you motherfuckers that think he's not, sorry. Your life sucks.
Right.
But I got a fucking magical Santa Claus that fucking gets me a saber-toothed tiger stuffed animal, right? And kudos to my mom. I mean, do you know what I mean? She did a great job. But yeah, that's not what I'm. That's so.
I remember my event when I found out.
When you found out,
I remember who told me. I remember where I was. We were standing outside at the end of the driveway, not the one that's by the road at my parents' house, but the one that's up by the horse arena at the end where you would go up towards the fire station. We were standing there, and she told me Santa Claus isn't real.
Who told you?
Mary Beth. It's okay.
Mary Beth.
But here, this is why. She was, and I'm like, yeah, he is. Because, like, I knew. And she's like, no, he's not. I'm like, how do you know? She's like, because my parents told me. Her fucking parents told her as a little kid. And then that was like, oh, it came from your parents. I'm like, there's no Santa Claus. And that was it for me.
That sucks.
I was sad. I was like heartbroken. I don't know why I was heartbroken. It was like that magic. That's why that magic was gone. That's why when you do those card tricks, I'm like, I don't want to know. I want to keep the magic.
You still got the magic inside of you, baby. You still got that spark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blow on my embers. Let's blow on Asher's first, and then we'll get my embers.
Lead by example.
Where's my magic?
Only you can blow yourself.
There you go. We can't do better than that. We got to end it now.
If you're a listener and or fan of the podcast, help us reach our goal by next year.
Yes.
And I don't know how you'll help us. I don't really know how we're going to go about doing this.
Share the podcast. Reach out. Maybe share social media. Maybe tag people in it.
Yeah.
Comment. Interact with us.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. Show us your ideas. What do you got?
Yeah, if you've got ideas too, that'd be cool. We're open. We're open to ideas. But help us reach that goal by next year. September 23rd, 2022.
Yeah. We're already a day in.
Yeah.
We're already a day in.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We're already there. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.